What are the bottom lines? Hello heroes, I'm Hope Williams here on the official Magic Ears YouTube channel to talk about the bottom lines. If you've been with Magic Ears very long, or you've been thinking about joining the family, you've probably heard about the bottom lines. If you haven't already heard of the bottom lines, listen up. You'll be hearing a lot about the bottom lines in the future. The bottom lines are important in the hiring stage. They're important in meeting parent expectation and getting good feedback, and they're important in ranking up and getting raises. We know that when the parents comment or complain to Magic Ears, 90% of what they say is about the bottom lines. So let's take note of the 3 bottom lines. They are teaching with passion, class progress, and zero tolerance to noise. Today we begin with teaching with passion. I will explain today what teaching with passion looks like to the parents who are paying for the classes, as well as the Magic Ears trainers and staff. Plus, if you're already working for another online company and considering Magic Ears, you'll want to know one very important component of teaching with passion that you may never have thought of before. But first, let's dive into teaching with passion and what it means. You may already have passion in your heart and therefore be teaching with passion every day. However, since no one can see what passion is in your heart, when we talk about teaching with passion for Magic Ears, we're talking about an outward demonstration of passion. First element, energy. Watch this clip from Teacher Lily and you'll see what I mean.
Okay, Hastings, say line, 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 line.
La 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 la.
Good job. Good job. Billy, can you say line, 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 line?
La 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 la.
Good job. Okay, Ray. Line, 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 line.
La 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 la.
Oh, good job.
After watching a class with Teacher Lily, do you think any parent or trainer could click a tag that says, no teaching passion? Absolutely not. There is no way that anyone could watch that clip and say, Teacher Lily had no passion in the class today. When we think about teaching with passion for Magic Ears, we have to put ourselves in the seat of the observer, the trainer, or the parent who's watching the class. They can't see what's in your heart. All they have is what you're doing during that 25-minute window that you have with their child. And what would be the best way to communicate to the parent and the student, I'm happy to be here. I'm enthusiastic about teaching your child. I'm excited about the possibilities, and doing this makes me happy. Energy is the unmistakable answer. There's no way anyone, after watching Teacher Lily teach, could indicate in any way that Teacher Lily wasn't passionate about class. If you want to be unmistakably identified as being a passionate teacher, nothing's as passionate like a teacher putting his or her energy onto the screen. And the second element of teaching with passion is facial expression. What would you say is the #1 facial expression needed by a Magic Ears teacher? If you said a smile, you are correct. Remembering that there's a language barrier and that the students have no idea what is in your heart, the only way that we as teachers can really communicate what we feel is with our face. A smile is really important to keep the children comfortable in class. As a teacher changes slides or reports a problem, the teacher's face falls. Meanwhile, the students are looking at the teacher thinking, what happened? What happened to teacher? She's no longer happy to be here in class with me. So keeping a smile on the whole time is a tool that we have that we can use to make sure that everyone is comfortable. And it's our job to make the students comfortable. So we should be keeping that smile on our faces. But that's not all. Kids will love the variety that we can bring to class by using fun facial expressions.
Is it hot in winter or cold in winter?
Cold.
It's cold, that's right. Sometimes it snows in the winter. Snow! Oh, it's cold in winter.
So we have energy, we have facial expressions, and we have voice variation. What Magic Ears would like for you to do is to create dynamics, variation in your voice. You're a passionate teacher. Have you ever tried to read a children's book to a child without doing the voices? Kids love the voices, so bring it in class. If you have a student who won't repeat, apple, and the student sits there. But then you change it to apple, apple, apple. And the student is suddenly interested. Watch teacher Nicole use this classic technique to motivate her students to repeat the vocabulary.
Jungyu.
Big G.
Big G.
Very good. And let's say little G.
Little G.
Excellent job.
Here is element number 4, TPR and body language. TPR is a physical response to spoken language. Classic TPR was an entire learning method in itself, and it relied on a teacher saying a word like stand and showing the students stand and then encouraging them to do it as well. This got them interacting with the language before they were comfortable speaking it. As children, when we were learning our first language, we were interacting with language as well before we were able to articulate it. These days, we encourage the student to speak while doing the action. So what we're trying to do is tie what they're hearing with what they're saying, with what they're doing. Let's watch a clip of teacher April using TPR in her classroom.
Amy, your turn.
Big.
Y.
Big Y.
Little Y.
Little Y.
Excellent job.
In the highly visual field of online learning, TPR has expanded its use not only to encourage the students to cooperate and participate in movement, but also for the teacher to express himself or herself to illustrate the meaning that the child might not understand yet. Let's watch teacher Tracy using TPR in her classroom.
Okay, Sally, can you say milk?
Milk.
Are you drinking milk?
Yes.
Yes, wow, very good.
In addition to the TPR we've discussed, there are 3 specific gestures that we want to use in a Magic Ears class. The thumbs up. Magic Ears doesn't care if you use 1 thumb or 2 thumbs. This isn't important. What's important is that you use this physical gesture to tell the kids that they're doing a good job. If I say, "That's amazing," the student may not know that I'm directly talking about what they just did in class. The cupped ear. This means I'm listening. By showing them that you're listening, the students understand that it's time for them to respond. You'll use this gesture after you read something that you want the students to repeat, when you ask a question that you want the students to answer, or you'll use this gesture when you say a vocabulary word that you want the students to practice. All Magic Ears teachers use this gesture, so even if a child comes to the classroom not understanding it at first, they will quickly pick up on it. Watch my mouth. We use this gesture whenever we introduce new vocabulary or we emphasize pronunciation. Apple. Apple. It also draws their attention to my mouth. When it's time to practice one-on-one, the students can see us up close. That's when we really want to come in close to the camera and emphasize pronunciation with this gesture. Magic Ears is expecting that every teacher will use these 3 gestures repeatedly and consistently with every student in class. Let's watch as teacher Felicia shows us how it's done.
Okay, listen to teacher. Are you going to play basketball?
Are you going to play basketball?
Good job. Yes, I like playing basketball.
Yes, I like basketball. Basketball.
Good job, everyone.
And finally, I promised at the beginning of the video to share one unexpected element of teaching with passion in the Magic Ears classroom: transitional language. Magic Ears is different from many online teaching companies in this regard. Magic Ears actually wants us as teachers to keep the flow of the classroom and to keep the energy up by using transitional phrases. This requires some degree of incidental language, which, if you've worked for other companies, you may not be so comfortable using. Where with one company, you might only say apple and listen for the student's response. With Magic Ears, you'll often see teachers saying things like, "Let's all say apple." Can everyone say apple? Come on, 1, 2, 3, apple. So you can see there are some transitional and instructional phrases there. We'll also use transitional phrases when we're going from one slide to the next. So there's never really any dead time. If you think about it, using transitional phrases avoids some of the awkward moments that we don't want to have in class. For this reason, using transitional language is part of the energy and the passion that Magic Ears is looking for in every class. So let's review. Teaching with passion is more than just what's in your heart. It's what demonstrates passion to a party who's watching and may not understand. Therefore, teaching with passion is made up of energy, facial expression, voice variation, TPR and body language, and transitional phrases. That is the first bottom line, and it is very important. While we may be passionate in our hearts, what we really hope to accomplish is that no observer would be able to say otherwise. Look for upcoming videos on the other two bottom lines: class progress and the zero tolerance to noise policy. And this brings us to the question of the day. Which bottom line do you excel at most? We'd like to hear how you conquered that bottom line in your Magic Ears classes. Join the discussion in the comments below. And remember, if you haven't subscribed, click that button to subscribe today. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and happy teaching. Goodbye.